speaking of Kill Switch, we've got the download lineup up.
Yes. Yeah,
Yes.
we are going to get onto the download line because obviously we have had some new additions.
Yeah.
Which I will list off right now for you, and you can just give me your feelings or thoughts.
Help me scroll down as well because I don't know where they are on the,
all right,
on the page.
You know what? That Saturday is going to be really popping for me.
Yeah.
We've already gone through the Saturday, so we're not going to keep it too long because that was like 4.5 hours or something, this podcast. But we'll go through the new additions. So Aaron Jones.
Where is
Do you know
he?
anything about them?
Where is he?
I don't even know if it's a he or a she or a band or...
I thought it was... there we go. So it's the Friday on the second stage. He's first up. So I don't really know anything
it's a
about
guy.
Aaron Jones.
It's a guitar player who has performed with the likes of BB King and Run DMC. That's quite a mix.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
No idea who he is, though. Not really heard his music. But good luck to him. He's playing Download. Nice one.
Wicked.
Boston Manor.
That is really going to attract Katie to download, definitely, Boston Manor.
Yeah.
Where are they? This is like, where's Wally?
Yeah.
Oh, there they go. Okay. So they're on the Avalanche stage on the Sunday.
Yeah. I thought they might be. Any thoughts on Boston Manor, Tom?
I like them. I think they're a really, really, really good band for what they do. Obviously, they kind of trope in the Wonder Years kind of realm. I love the Wonder Years.
I love the Wonder Years. Actually, they released a new song the other day called Breakless, and it's really, really good.
Yeah, because I thought they'd gone away for a while, and then I became a bit disheartened by, I missed the Wonder Years, because I think the Wonder Years are a good band to have at downloads for a bit of a party aspect.
Yeah, well, I just love that heartland sounding pop punk. You know, there's two sides of the spectrum for pop punk. Me, there's there's three. There's the kind of emo, more shoegaze side of pop punk. There's the full blown teeny bop pop punk, and there's like the heartland kind of real Bruce Springsteen inspired Gaslight Anthem,
kind of
Wonder Years, Menzinger's kind of side of pop punk. You know, which I love.
Yeah.
Okay, so Dead Poets Society.
Where are you,
them?
Wally? I don't know. I've heard the name, but I haven't heard much about Dead Poets Society.
It's a Robin Williams film, isn't it? They're just going to screen the Robin Williams film.
Sounds like it.
Yeah. No idea, I'm afraid. They sound like they could be a country/blues rock band with that name.
Possibly.
To me.
Or they could have like surprise vocalist Macaulay Culkin or something along those lines. As their
Michael says in chat, by the way. Well, Murray Man says Saturday is stacked. Yeah, it definitely is. We'll get onto that. Michael also says I really like the Boston Manor that came out this year. I wasn't aware there was a Boston Manor album that came out this year, but I'll give it a shout.
Found them. There they are. Yeah. Dogtooth Stage on Friday. So
is this Dead Poets Society, Dogtooth Stage Friday, The Descendants. Now,
classic.
Now that this really is, for my mind, one of the first ever pop punk bands, really, in the modern sense of the word.
Definitely one of the most influential of their time period. Milo Goes to College is a classic album. Honestly, I just wanted to turn up and play all of that, to be fair.
It has happened at Download before. Bands have focused on one album to play through from beginning to end. And
that would be actually a really highlighted set. Like, I'm enjoying the kind of the third stage kind of deal at the moment. I've never seen Funeral for a Friend. I love them. They're a great band. It's going to be fantastic.
Oh, Kieran will talk your ear off about Funeral for a Friend. That's his camp, right?
That is mine.
Yeah, the Descendants is going to be a highlight. Also, I want to talk about the Sinners and Megadeth.
Yeah, we'll get onto that in a minute.
Massive drop. Megadeth especially is taking a massive drop, and that is very noticeable in the lineup. And I want to talk about that.
All right. Well, we might as well. We'll get back to the next two bands I have on the list, but we might as well go straight to Megadeth then, if we're heading that way.
Yeah.
I am a very much a long time fan of this band. The first metal band I think I ever got into and considered myself a fan of is Megadeth.
I think the reason. Sorry.
No, go on, Karen.
I think the reason I got into Megadeth was because in a Trivium music video that I saw Corey wearing a Megadeth shirt. I think it was in the "Dying in Your Arms" music video. And I was
That's really interesting.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, I got into them because of the Behind the Music documentary that VH1 did. And I was kind of into Megadeth at the time. I heard a few songs and I was like, oh, this band seemed really interesting. What any documentaries, and the whole behind the music documentary by VH1 on Megadeth is well worth a watch. It's probably the best behind the music they've ever done.
Yeah.
It really is. But I have Dave's book as well, Mustaine, and I mean, obviously he's a polarizing figure, right? But
Yeah.
he's always been. I've always had a bit of respect for him. The way he left Metallica on such unamicable terms and then forged his own career path, did his own thing, was so successful, and still going today. And he's beating cancer as well.
I remember reading the book, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. I remember him using a chapter on the measure of success, and one of the examples was Dave Mustaine, and it was about how you measure yourself as a success, and the whole Some Kind of Monster documentary thing kind of showed that he didn't consider himself a success unless he proved himself to be bigger than Metallica, which obviously hasn't
not
happened.
Quite. It didn't quite happen for them, did it? But they gave it a bloody good go.
Yeah,
like
They did, yeah.
Countdown to Extinction got at number 2 on the Billboard chart in 1992, and that is a hell of a feat for a metal band.
But the story got compared with the Beatles' first drummer, Pete Best. And
Pete Best, yeah.
And he got
No.
Dave
Mustaine is no. Dave Mustaine is no Pete Best.
Let me finish. I'm trying to. No, what I was trying to say was because they kicked him out, he saw new value in having a family and things like that. So his success was based on that. So he found his own measure of success. That was what I was trying to say.
Fair dues. No, I agree with you. I'm glad he's found success in his own terms. Murray Mann says that new Rust in Peace book is excellent, if anyone knows about it. Because obviously we just had the anniversary of Rust in Peace. Probably their landmark album, arguably, the quintessential Megadeth record. I mean, Tom, we haven't really got to your thoughts on Dave Mustaine or Megadeth yet. So what were you going to say about them?
So ask me the question about Megadeth 10 years ago. I would have said one of my favorite bands ever. Like one of my favorite bands, possibly they're within my top 20 favorite bands ever. Probably bottom of that 15, going on to 10 list. Rust in Peace is a classic. So is Peace Sells, but Who's Buying? So is Countdown to Extinction. I did used to hold the opinion that they were better in the 90s than Metallica. Obviously, that is now changed completely. I love Metallica's Load album more than most people.
Oh god, I'm so glad you say that, Tom, because Load is honestly my second favorite Metallica album behind Master of Puppets. It's so great. It's so underrated.
It's a great, but I think Euthanasia. Euthanasia is definitely a better album in some ways, but I think Megadeth were always kind of appealing. The problem I have with Megadeth is that their beliefs kind of is skewed closely to mine politically originally.
Yeah,
Dave Mustaine became sober and more of a Christian. It started to become a little bit, like when old rock fans look at Ted Nugent. I look at Dave Mustaine as a bit like Ted Nugent.
I don't think he's that bad in terms of his right-wing beliefs.
I just think
he can be a gobshite sometimes, is what you're saying.
Yeah, but then so am I. So I can't judge. But at the same time, I love Megadeth. I think they're a great addition to the lineup. The drop is noticeable. Yes, they're headlining the second stage. They deserve to be on a premiere thing. And at a festival like Download, the second stage isn't necessarily a bad thing. Rob Zombie is as big as he is. You've got Kill Switch who are headlining and Steel Panther who are also headlining on the Saturday and Sunday.
Slayer did their last gig there in the UK last year.
Yeah. At the end of the day, I don't, I think Dave knows at this point, Megadeth, that I don't want to say the word over the hill because I think they've got a lot more in them, given Dystopia's success. But it's not like they're going to just play the whole of Dystopia in full. I do believe it's going to be chock full of their greatest hits. And whilst people, because I've seen Megadeth twice, last time at Download they had to tune down 2 half steps to suit Dave's voice, because obviously Dave. I feel like I was at the last gig where Megadeth played in half step down / standard tuning, which was at Download 2012. And ever since then, they've gone down to a whole step down to suit Dave's voice, because he was really struggling before Kiko came into the picture and during the Super Collider years.
Yeah. Do you think that had anything to do with the way he did vocals in the 90s and late 80s?
Oh, absolutely. He's not
really
a natural singer.
out.
He's not a natural singer. He didn't learn to sing properly. The only reason he sang in Megadeth was because no one else would do it.
Yeah.
So,
essentially, yeah.
Considering he's not a natural singer, he's done very well to get to where he is now.
I think his vocal style, he's not Bruce Dickinson, Ronnie Dio, but
who is
Hetfield isn't that either. But like I love like his vocal tics. It's great at karaoke. He's sweating bullets. That's all I'm saying.
I love doing sweating. I've done it at the Dev whenever we've been at the Dev for karaoke. I've done sweating bullets. But yeah, so Megadeth, I am looking forward to seeing again. I'm certainly going to see them over Kiss. Let's put it that way.
Same.
I'm a big fan of both, but I think I haven't seen Megadeth since 2012 live, so I need to go and see them. So I think I'm going to go see Megadeth.
Yeah, good stuff. All right, so Fire from the Gods. Do you know them?
The only time I listened to them, they released. I can't remember the name of the song, but I think their lead singer has quite a powerful voice, and it's not necessarily like they kind of seem like a bit of a run-of-the-mill band to me. Like there's not a whole lot that stands out personally.
Well, what are they? What sort of genre are they? Because I've never heard.
Kind of. I don't know. Could you say like modern metal? Because I can't really. I can kind of put them in the metalcore genre, but in some cases they're kind of not. They kind of remind me of that sort of Bad Wolves kind of vibe in certain places of where they do music. So if you listen to Bad Wolves, it's kind of along those sorts of lines.
Ah, got you. So kind of mainstream American radio metal.
Kind of. Well, as far as what I've listened to, I can't really vouch for new stuff that I've listened to because I could be completely wrong. But
okay, I know. What day are they on? Sorry,
they are on. I don't know. Some of this font is really small, and then I whilst you were all talking, I found Descendants finally. Oh, there you go. They're on the Sunday on the Dogtooth stage.
Yeah, Sunday download next year does seem to be the classic rock kind of day.
Sounds like it, yeah.
But yeah, we speaking of which, we've got Massive Wagons, who I listened to a little bit of their album that they released this year. Can't remember quite what it's called, but it's got a TV on the front of it. And I really dig it. They're a kind of very much the AC/DC Wild Hearts power chords metal kind of camp.
I'll check that out. It definitely sounds like I'm a big fan of the Wild Hearts, so I'll definitely give that a
There we go. They're called House of Noise.
House of Noise.
I think someone like Airborne would be more akin to what the sort of music they do.
Oh, that's cool. I like it as well. So
yeah, that whole kind of power chord, very hard rock sounding.
So a little bit on the back foot from that. Twin Temple. I'm a big fan of Twin Temple.
Ah, yes.
They're on the third stage, just below Miles Kennedy and Hacken.
Yes.
Haken.
I'll tell you what. Bees loves Twin Temple. He's always going on about him. He interviewed him actually on Mosh Talks. They're an odd one to describe, aren't they? Kind of gothic doo-wop is the best way I can describe them.
The wop.
Like I'm a big fan of serious artistic music, but I'm also a big fan of meany camp ridiculousness. And people are kind of like if you mash together like 50s doo-wop with Ghost and the Misfits from like the early 80s, that would be like the best comparison to make about what they do.
Well, they have that aesthetic, don't they?
Yeah. Also, the live show, from what I've heard, is incredible. Like, it's almost like they call their live show. Like, I usually kind of hate this when black metal bands do this. Like, our live show is a ritual. No, mate, it's a gig, you dickhead.
Pretentious, isn't it?
Yeah. But I like
just to interject for 1 second. That just reminds me of when some of my mates saw Batushka on the was it the Dogtooth stage last year at Download, and whilst they were lighting the candles and preparing their whole black metal ritual, some bloke from the crowd started going, "Happy birthday to you."
I remember that. Yeah.
No, that they kind of do that tongue in cheek, like kind of satanic visual, or in a really interesting way. And the music is genuinely quite upbeat, but instead, like, they have songs like Satan's a Real Woman, and it's a bit sexy and a bit cheeky. So I do like them.
Well, Murray Man in the chat says satanic doo-wop, what's not to love?
Exactly.
There you go. Right, okay, so next up we have Monster Truck. Again, a very much a southern rock kind of / hard rock, but I have seen them live before at Download 2016. And I remember it was just so muddy and ridiculous, and the rain was pouring down. And I don't know, it seemed a bit of a weird fit. You know, you want a band like that to play in the sunshine. Really?
Yeah, because I like the fact that they're big and riffy. I like things that are big and riffy and a bit sort of sort of in that kind of southern rock wheelhouse, like kind of music you'd ride down on a motorcycle to. But and like chew tobacco to. It's Undertaker type music. But at the same time, like, when Download is usually like 2 steps away from being a mud pile, like
doesn't really fit, does it?
No,
unless they get a bunch of pig farmers or something.
No, but I've always felt this way about like Download booking. Like, I understand that Download is more than just a metal festival and more than just a rock festival, and why some of these bookings are necessary. But I've always felt a bit odd. Like, people go, "Oh, why don't Download book Leonard Skinner's?" Because Leonard Skinner are massive in the rock world, and they're legends. But at the same time,
it's not really Download, is it?
It's not really Download. That's more Rambling Man kind of fit.
Yes, that's a good shout. KB, do you have any thoughts on Monster Truck?
No.
Okay. Right. Moving swiftly on. North Lane.
I love North Lane.
Yeah,
I love them. Great band.
I think I would argue that like the album last year was quite a significant breakthrough for them, because they've had some pretty out there stuff from past albums, but I think this album was like really was highly talked about on social media last year. I remember everybody raving on about it, even like I think Periphery were raving on about it, and guys from Bury Tomorrow. So yeah, I think from the back of that, I think North Lane are absolutely gonna steal the show at Download.
Did we do a North Lane tune on the Listen to This segment a few episodes back?
No, not necessarily. I'm just thinking of a TikTok I did, and I put North Lane in the background. But you
and your bloody TikTok, Kieran. Come on,
I can't help it. I'm obsessed.
Right, North Lane. I've never really gone full bore into them, but I feel like I would dig it because it's that sort of very technical sounding metalcore. And with atmospherics, presumably, I'm wearing a Loathe t-shirt, so I feel like
if you like Loathe, I would say you would like North Lane. So
okay, then sorry, Tom.
A friend of mine wants to. It's all right. A friend of mine wants to describe them as Deftones, but with Blade Runner synths, which is the best way to describe them.
Nice.
That's why I love them, because it's kind of the mix of my favorite thing from the 90s and my favorite thing from the 80s. So, anyway, continue on.
Brilliant, yeah. Good stuff. Where are they playing? Just before we move on.
Sorry, I got the cursor there. It's they're playing on the Sunday on the main stage.
Stop thinking about TikTok, Kieran. Wakey. Right,
I'm thinking about the lack of sleep I've had.
So, Renounced. Now, this is an interesting one, because Renounced, what I've heard sounds very kill switchy to me, which is always good, particularly early kill switch.
So you're talking like first self-titled.
Yeah, you know, very old school metalcore sounding, and
Okay, I'll check them out.
their album, which I believe came out last year. Bear with me 1 second. Talk amongst yourselves. Do you know much about Renounced?
Nope.
No,
This
this
is
is a first-time thing for me.
yeah.
Oh, awesome! All right.
But I always like that thing about download is experiencing something new, because I find like there can be stuff at download that I can't. I refresh myself on. Like it's always fun to see bands like Gojira at download. But if it's too similar, then sometimes I might say Bloodstock.
That's the one. That's the album name. It's called God's sake, it's called Beauty is a Destructive Angel, and it came out last year. And if you're into your kill switch, I reckon you'll like that.
I'll give it a shout.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, like you said, it's always great to promote new bands on the download stage. Right, now here's one that Bees in particular and a lot of the Mosh Talks community have been absolutely creaming themselves over. Right, this is Will Gould from Creeper's side project, Salem.
I've heard about this.
So that explains why they're on the Avalanche stage on the same day as Creeper.
Will Gould is doing double duty at Download next year.
Really? Incredible.
Yes, on the same day, on the same stage.
He's trying to show Miles Kennedy up.
Yeah, absolutely.
A little bit, yeah. I think to part of my take on this, I have to add context for what's going on with Creeper, because Creeper have taken a massive drop this year, and it's not because of anything in particular. I think that the new album is great. It's a kind of harken back to sort of 70s David Bowie mixed with a little bit of the Ramone kind of deal they were doing on the last album, but obviously more focused on the Bowie light and shade of it all, with that new Creeper album. But I don't think it's hit people as hard as the debut or even the EPs before then.
That's interesting.
I remember when Creeper were like, you couldn't even talk to anyone in the rock community about someone going, "Oh, I have an opinion on Creeper. Like, they're a great band. I hate them because they're the Misfits, but more commercial. You know, I hate them because they sound like AFI, but without what makes classic AFI. But,
the AFI comparison is the most truest for me rather than Misfits. I think it's more of that kind of. They're not as punky as the Misfits, for me. But I don't know. I've just never really. Will seems like a bloody nice bloke, right?
He's lovely, absolutely lovely.
I don't know if you've ever interviewed him or met him at all.
No, I've met him. I met him very briefly at Metal Hammer Golden Gods Awards a few years ago, very briefly, and he was really lovely and very easy to talk to and very easy to kind of get to know, and was very much excited about where Creeper were going. Salem, I've heard a track or two. I thought, this is a bit different, bit kind of my thing, kind of not my thing. I don't know. It's from
the single that Bees has played. I feel like it's a return to Creeper's more punkier roots. It's basically Creeper, which is a thing a slight peeve I have with side projects. If you're going to do a side project, make it a little bit different to your main outlet. And this feels a bit derivative of Creeper to me. Is that fair to say?
That's kind of my issue with it. It sounds a bit like Creeper, and it's like, this is like if Corey did it, like if Stone Sour sounded like Slipknot.
I mean, I guess I was just getting onto Creeper on, safe to say, not really my cup of tea, but they are so popular and so out there that I respect them and I'm happy for their success. Particularly their success with this record. Obviously, it got to number 5 in the UK charts. I mean, that's just unheard of for a non-commercial band. But at the same time, I don't know. I guess I'm a little bit envious that out of the 3 promoted That's Not Metal bands, Puppy, Milk Teeth, and Creeper, Milk Teeth has split up. My boys Puppy are kind of floundering a little bit at the moment, and Creeper have just gone on to massive superstardom. So I'm a little bit bitter about that.
Yeah, like I think Milk Teeth are objectively more my kind of thing than a Creeper. And don't get me wrong, I like fucking weird goth shit. Like, I'm a big fan of Type O Negative. I love Ghost, obviously. I've always on about how good Ghost are. but their kind of trappings I haven't really been in love with since. I haven't really been in love with since AFI did Sing the Sorrow, and that was years and years ago.
Yeah, it was
So-
2003, nearly 20 years ago. But we have Murray Man on Salem saying, Will said on his Twitter it was his challenge to stay sober in between sets. Yeah, I can understand how that might
yeah,
be.
yeah.
And also, just going back to Renounce briefly, Michael says that he saw them support Knock Loose last year. Very good fit for them. The album's decent too. So there you go. But that's Salem anyway. I will give the EP a chance. I haven't listened to all of it yet, but the tracks, yeah, it's okay. You know, it's just that's my thing with Creeper. You know, or Salem, it's okay, right? And everyone's going on about their songs like they're the greatest thing ever. Yeah. I just have a bit of a hiccup with that.
People
sort of thing.
would say that if they're trying to get their band they feel is not as out there yet to that stardom. I felt the same about like Bleed From Within and bands like that. Like I'm like, guys, listen to this. The masterpiece album.
That Bleed From Within album is amazing though.
Even the album before that was, but I digress. So what have we got next on the list?
Right, next on the list of new band announcements for download, we have Static Dress.
Static Dress. Okay.
Who are relatively new. They're kind of, and the best way of describing it is kind of in the Code Orange / Wargasm industrial kind of camp, Well,
I'm sold.
Yeah.
And Bees really does reckon that this lot are going to be massive one day.
Nice.
And from what I've heard of them, yeah, they have kind of very much Nine Inch Nails / grunge sensibilities, but they're a bit kind of harder edged vocals,
that kind of music's gotten really popular recently, and I think it's a good thing, because I look at the download lineup this year and you've got Poppy, you've had Code Orange there before, you've had loads of really interesting stuff of that kind of world seeping into download. That I think down the line, next couple of years, we might have a little bit of the Billie Eilish on the main stage at download.
Oh, that's a shout.
Yeah, I think it's gonna happen.
You do think it's gonna happen before the Foo Fighters headline download?
I think maybe the same year.
Oh, that's
maybe the same year. I just know. If you want to go for a big one.
Why can't people just like metal? Jesus Christ!
I dread the thought of download turning into Reading.
That's why I'm very cautious of bands like this. Unless you're Code Orange, unless you've got a bit of substance to you and a bit of testes with your music, I get a bit.
Oh no, trust me. Static. From what I've heard of Static Dress, they do go hard, very hard.
Oh, good. I'll give that a listen then.
But it's more in the sort of. Okay, when I said like the more industrial side, there's a hint of industrial in the kind of Code Orange sense, but I think it's more kind of alt metal / grunge / it's that sort of aesthetic, so if that's your bag, then fair enough. Right. Next band we have are the Ingester.
The Ingester.
Any ideas, chaps?
Nope. Not for me.
It sounds familiar, but I'm just trying to pinpoint.
And this is the Ingester with a J.
So like a court jester sort of thing.
Right. Okay. Right. I've just seen an image of this lot. Clowncore.
Oh no. Oh.
Hang on. Let me transition. So the Ingester is what you're trying to say.
Yes. And then look up just go on images.
Oh, I see. Okay. So
whoop whoop.
Whoop whoop.
They look like in AEW the Dark Order. If the Dark Order decided to do goth cosplay.
Yeah, I don't know. I cannot tell you anything about them, but it seems like they're going for a Circus of Horrors vibe with it.
Sounds like it, yeah.
Performance art / I imagine it's going to be some sort of crazy circus new metal type deal, you know.
Yeah.
Hopefully not a psychosexual, which is
Yeah, I was going to mention psychosexual.
well, it's definitely one of the blights on this year. You thought coronavirus was bad, you haven't heard psychosexual.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
No idea really about them. We can go back to the download. It'd
Yeah,
be interesting to see what
sounds
stage they're playing on. I imagine it's Dogtooth somewhere
good.
because I've never heard of it.
I think we're missing a big band on there I want to talk about.
They're
that came
there,
out
yeah.
Well, we only got a few more to go. So I'm going in alphabetical order as well. So bear with the Scratch.
The Scratch. There we go. There they are.
And this band are
Scratchy.
it says rock. Is
Rock.
there? Here we go. Born from the ashes of Red Enemy, this Dublin-based quartet style fuses heavy metal tinged Irish folk. Oh dear.
Okay.
Hopefully not in the Ailstorm camp.
Oh no. I like more the Dropkick Murphys camp. Hopefully.
Yeah. So heavy metal tinged Irish folk with careful vocal harmonies delivered in a regional tone and a strong sense of local humour. Okay, well that's the band that everyone's going to get pissed to then, presumably.
Sounds good to me. That's if I don't get pissed on Wednesday and Thursday already. But
yes.
Stopping me.
So only a few more to go. The Skints. I have something to say about the Skints. One of the last gigs I went to this year was the Interrupters at Kentish Town Forum, and the Skints were supporting. And these guys really did blow me away. Honestly, like if you love your, they're kind of they have two-tone influence. They have British hip hop influence, bit of grime in there. The lead singer, she basically was picking up random instruments throughout the set and was able to absolutely shred them all with such like ease and gusto. You know, she was like playing saxophone, then she did like a lead guitar solo, and I was just like, "Whoa, what do we have here?" You know, and I believe they were they did something with the Heavy Music Awards recently, but essentially, great band, and it, well worth checking out. I would say if you're into that kind of reggae dub, heavy dub kind of stuff, you know.
Yeah, that's been popping up. That's been popping up a lot in the sort of the last couple of years of download. That kind of aggressive street kind of dubsteppy metal.
It's not even metal, I would say. It's more sort of if you like the Clash, right? Which I love the Clash, right? Huge kind of more of their reggae kind of vibes from that, you know, which I just love, you know.
No,
with kind of very much deep dub, that kind of reverby deep dub sound.
Yeah,
that was born from London. There's a very London aesthetic to their sound. I think they've even called one of their songs "This Is London" or something.
London.
London. Just going back to the scratch. Just going back to the scratch for a sec. Murray Man says, "Hey, that's an outdated Irish stereotype. It's true, but outdated." So fair enough.
No, but is it as timeless as "Hello Noggers"? You know.
Hello, happy days are here again.
Yeah.
Pace. I love the Irish dub, lads. Right, only two more to go, and then we can move on to Halloweeny stuff.
And I've already scouted out the next one because I got the list.
Good stuff. Uncured.
Okay, no, got nothing.
Uncured. How I like my meat. No, I don't know. Never heard of them.
Okay, steady on.
Uncured. So this is. I typed in uncured BA in the first Google suggestion. Obviously, with uncured bacon, but so
there's nothing wrong with bacon.
Yeah, so they are an American progressive / technical death metal 4-piece from New York City. Okay,
all right, okay.
There you go. So if you like that sort of stuff, then check them out. And finally, and I believe this is probably the band you wanted to talk about, Tom, Venom Prison.
Yes, I love Venom Prison. Great fucking band. Love them since the first album. Looking forward to the new album. Love the EPs. Basically, aside from Power Trip, one of my favorite metal bands on the planet right now.
Nice.
It's great death metal. It is both heavy and melodic. Kind of if you clash together the best bits of Cannibal Corpse with a little bit of Black Dahlia Murder, and there's a really, really awesome, like, hot, kind of feminist front woman fronting those bands. That's Venom Prison. They're great. They've been doing the rounds the last few years. Definitely, if you like sort of classic death metal, definitely up your street. Definitely up my street. You know, they are fantastic and a great live band. I saw them
Great stuff.
a few years ago.
I remember seeing them. Well, I didn't see them, but I remember seeing them on the lineup for supporting one of Trivium's tours. I think it was on the same one as Tooth Grinder. So yeah. I listened to a bit of them. I'm not sure if I could get into them at first, but I'll definitely give them another go because I know my music taste has changed in like in the last year, and I've opened myself up to more ideas of metal.
Yeah. There's no denying that this stuff is heavy, really, really heavy. So if you like Tom said, if you like your death metal, then Venom Prison is the one for you. And I believe they won best up and coming band or something at the the Golden Gods or some award ceremony like that.
Yeah, like that. Metal Hammer are big on them. Metal Hammer, like other than maybe Code Orange, are the main band they're pushing to be, you know, to be kind of the future.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny you say Code Orange because Michael's just said they were the opening band of the Trivium Code Orange Power Trip tour.
There we go. Okay.
So that sounds like a lineup and a half.
Oh, yeah.
No, I really wanted to go to that show, and I had press tickets for it, but then at the time I wasn't really in the mood to go to gigs, and I wish I'd gone, given current circumstances.
Well, see, mate, I wish I'd gone to that Real Big Fish gig with you and Dan.
Oh, that was freaking awesome.
But again, I wasn't in the mood. I had a terrible November last year where I was just really depressed, and I was just like, oh, maybe. And it's like the one thing that will make me not depressed is Real Big Fish. I should have gone.
Yeah.
So let's dance.
And cheese. As a gig, it was fantastic. But yeah.
So that's the new download editions. Now,